Hey everybody, I'm Eric O'Keefe, and today I'm here with a really amazing client. And this is Lika Velentzas. And she is now, at the time we've been talking, she's been a member at Stronger Personal Training for maybe about 18 months, give or take a month or two. And today decided to hop online and talk with her about her results, but not just the results. We want to talk about what her experience has been like, what's made it different, what's the atmosphere, like all the details about what it's like training here. So Lika, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and just share your experience. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so let's do this. Let's kind of set the stage. Let's find out so people know where you're coming from. So before you hopped on board, started training in Stronger Personal Training, what were you going through? What was the big problem or issue or thing you were trying to overcome that led you to train there?
So I had just come back from a knee surgery that ended up being, I ended up getting a blood clot and it went to my lungs. So I was one of the 1 out of 5 that this would happen to. So I was pretty much not working out and fairly inactive for at least 3 years. And I knew I needed to get back into something. And I have a friend who worked out at Stronger, and I decided to try it out. And I went for a 2-week trial. And as difficult as it was to get back into the program, I immediately fell in love with it. I knew it was going to be hard. At the time, I had pretty much accepted that maybe my body wasn't going to change and I was just going to have to accept that this is how my body was going to be. But then as the weeks went by and the months went by, I started noticing a lot of changes. And I began to love it more and more every day. It never got easier. It definitely gets harder, but you just get better at it. You just get stronger. So I just went with it. I knew it was something that I was going to love to do. The people, it was a perfect fit for me. And so that's why I love it.
Okay. Now, obviously what you'd gone through, the surgery, right? The blood clot, 3 years of kind of not being able to do something that you're used to doing, and not just played, I'm guessing like a physical toll, right?
Yeah.
Some of the emotional stuff as well. And it was probably kind of wearing on you. And were you itching to like, I got to get back. I got to get doing something. Were you at that point?
Absolutely. You go from being fairly active 5 days a week to absolutely nothing. And then that happened and you're just kind of all of a sudden afraid to do anything. And going back in, I could sense the fear. And as the weeks went on and as I was getting stronger again, I started to let go of that fear and started to trust myself more and started to trust the process more and just kind of enjoy it. Every now and again, I still find myself, if I'm trying something new, my trainers will catch me like just stopping for a second and they'll say like, don't think too much about it, just do it. And that's what I do. So,
Right.
it's just sometimes you just have to take that leap.
hmm And did you notice during the process that they were helping you in terms of making you feel comfortable, kind of alleviating those fears and getting you back into this? Like, were they really good at doing that?
Absolutely. They were not daily affirmations, but every now and again, you did something and they would, you know, kind of make you aware of how awesome what it is you just did was. And I think one of the greatest things I love about working out there is if we try something, maybe 6 weeks down the road, we'll try that same thing again. And I'll remember how hard it was the first time. And I'll expect that the 6 weeks later, but then I'll also remember how difficult it was and how it's not that difficult anymore. And I think that was my favorite aha moment. And I have those all the time there. We space things out so well that you just kind of you realize as you go along how much better you're getting at something and how much stronger you're getting at something. And it
Yeah.
motivates you to keep going.
Yeah. And I'm guessing along that process too, right? You talked about the trainers, but tell me a little bit about what it's like being part of the place. What's the atmosphere, the vibe? What's that all like?
It's a pretty cool vibe. We're a pretty neat community of people. We're all very positive. We encourage each other very often. We've all become pretty neat friends. And besides, enjoying seeing each other every now and again, and we push each other, whoever we work out with. Sometimes if I'm working out with somebody and they're lifting a heavier kettlebell, they might challenge me to do the same, or vice versa. So we do things like that for each other, and I think that's a pretty cool aspect of it.
Is there is it like a family?
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah. Good community that's built in around it, right? Support, accountability.
yeah, absolutely.
Is there a social side to it too?
I would say yes. It's very social. Yeah, we
Okay.
try
Okay.
to you know you're the five. There's a saying something about the five people that you surround yourself with are
Yep. You're the average of the five people. Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you,
Hmm.
thank you. And right now, especially for me, I'm surrounding myself, and I find myself around a lot of the members from the gym. And I don't think it's just because of the workout aspect of it. I think it's because we all kind of have that same philosophy right now, and we're all kind of encouraging each other to achieve our goals.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
A
you
lot of
want to be around that positivity.
absolutely. Now that's a big element, right? Of keeping you there, being around that, pushing you, motivating you, combined with a lot of what you were saying before. But then the big piece is, right? You've seen some results, right? So,
Absolutely. Yes, I
so,
have.
so let's dive into that. Let's talk about that. So, what have you seen? Just fill us in.
So the biggest result is I've seen about a 70-pound weight loss in the since I've been there since last March. Um, Aside from that, I've let go of a lot of physical fears that I've had of attaining certain things and being able to do certain things. I've also seen how much stronger I'm getting physically, but I've seen how much stronger I'm getting emotionally and mentally as well. And I think it's a good package. It's all a good combination.
When you say stronger emotionally, mentally, in what way? Is it, do you mean like confidence or something that you feel about yourself? What do you mean by that?
Absolutely, confidence. It's when you do something that you first of all never dreamed of doing, but second of all, when you actually accomplish it, and you just kind of you have this moment where you're like, I just did that, and it's a silent pat on the back. So there's a lot of emotional confidence that I never had.
Now, what about things, maybe some of like secondary things have come along, right? Because for 3 years you couldn't do much. So, how about movement? Are you able to do things now in terms of that, like issues that maybe you had before? Now you can do different things?
So I work in a restaurant, and a lot of times I do a lot of heavy lifting at work, and a lot of the times I used to refrain from doing that, and now I don't think twice about it. So it's in that respect, it's helped me a lot. So there's a lot of things that I do every day that seemed a little bit more difficult a few years back.
Okay.
I also work and I'm standing on my feet all day, like 10 hours a day. That used to be harder back then. Now it doesn't seem as difficult.
Would you say that, and there's been a shift in your energy levels along with that?
I think so, yeah, 100%. I don't think I could, my work schedule seems to have gotten longer and longer now, and I don't think I would be able to handle it the way I do now had I not gone through all this.
What have others said to you? Because obviously, right, on the physical transformation, they've seen the weight loss, right? But you have a lot of it, like you said, the emotional, the confidence, that stuff comes off too. What are others saying to you?
My customers at the restaurant, I have a lot of them that I don't see very often. And when they do come back, the first thing obviously is, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. But a lot of them also that know me very well have seen, you seem happier, you seem more at peace. I've heard a lot of those comments as well. So it's not just the physical aspect that they're seeing beyond that.
Yeah. Makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Would you go as far as say that this experience for you has been life changing?
Yes, I would 100% say it was life changing. I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't do this, if I didn't join the gym that day.
Mm.
Yeah,
So one small decision, right, has completely changed your life.
100%.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Now, let's just shift gears. I got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
Let's say there's someone who's interested in joining the gym. They hear your story. Maybe they relate really well with it and they're saying, you know what, this is cool, but they're still on the fence. What would you want to tell someone? Maybe push them over the fence and let them know this might be a good place for you.
I mean, it was a total leap of faith. If you're on the fence, it's just there's no harm in trying it. And that's one of the reasons why they have a 2-week trial. And at the time, that's exactly what I was going to do. And I knew I was going to love it. Um, and so I would say if you're on the fence, just take that leap. I mean, it's a great thing with anything in life.
Absolutely. Now, the last question I'll leave with is, right, this has been life changing. As you mentioned, you've gone through a lot of transformations just in a relatively short period of time. And let's say right now, Frank, as we're talking, is literally closing up shop, shutting the place down, turning off his phone, his email. He's basically disappearing, right? And this is the last time that you could say anything to him or the trainers. Knowing it's the last time, what would you want to say?
That's a good question. Oh my gosh, besides thank you, I would say, Frank, I think you're absolutely brilliant. To all the trainers, I mean, thank you for everything. That was, I mean, if today was the last day that I ever worked out there, and I'm getting a little emotional, I would say, wow, I didn't expect that one. I would say thank you for saving my life. That's it.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Lika, I think it's just been amazing, right? It's been a life-changing transformation. You've gone through so much just on every aspect of your life. And I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, getting a little emotional with us. But I just want to wish you the best of luck and just continued success moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. You take care.
You too.